Right, big news and good news. Record GST collections in India in the month of April 2024 at 2.1 lakh crores. GST collections breached the landmark milestone of 2 lakh crores. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has put out those numbers to hail the GST milestone. In fact, this is one of the largest amounts that's been collected in the form of GST. Record collection that's hit nearly 2.10 lakhs crores. In fact, it's a much higher collection than the last 2 lakh crores that was collected. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman listing out those numbers. Let me first cut across to, we have our correspondent Karishma Sudani joining us, who gives us a little insight into what this really means for India. Karishma, would you take us through the details, please?
Well, Nabila, tax buoyancy has been the strength of Indian government, and I think this number clearly speaks of the significance that the department has been echoing for the last few months, that they've been expecting a high number. 2.10 lakh crore, like you mentioned, for April is the highest collection that they have received until now. In fact, it's the highest collection in 10 years of Modinomics. For these collections, as you understand, they are for March, but they're collected in the month of April, and by percentage-wise, you see that's a 12% growth on a year-on-year basis that we can see, because it was in the month of April 2023, that is last year, that the collections were close to 1.87 lakh crore. Now, the tax department has been very confident of the fact that this number is going to set an example for the coming year, the financial year, and collections throughout fiscal year 2025 are going to maintain a momentum of crossing about at least average 1.8 lakh crore, which is a high number in terms of the buoyancy that they expect. On a broader term, this is good for the economy. This is good for the GDP growth, the numbers that India is eyeing on, and its overall goal of being the third largest economy a few years down the line.
Right. Karishma, if you could point out, you mentioned this is great for GDP growth. India is already seeing a steady rise in its GDP. Will this only boost India's growth in the days to come?
Absolutely. It's going to actually boost India's consumption story, because when there's a higher GST collection, it clearly indicates the fact that people are, it's manufacturing, the services sector, that consumers and people are involved a bit more, and that is why the industry has been able to pay these GST taxes. The government is very confident on having the GDP growth rate of close to 7% in the upcoming year. In fact, just yesterday, IMF, International Monetary Fund, raised India's GDP growth forecast to 7.8%. This is a great number, because knowing the fact that despite the geopolitical situation currently exists with conflicts happening across West Asia, it's the largest financial institutions there that are betting big on an average about 7 to 7.8% GDP growth for India. In fact, government is also confident that they'll be able to maintain that fiscal math in terms of the deficit of 5.1% in the coming year.